Hello folks, welcome to another entry in the SAS tutorial series. In this video, we will be covering bar charts. One of the most common data visualizations we use is the bar chart. This versatile chart lets readers easily see the difference in frequency or proportion across categories and between groups. Let's look at how we can make our own in SAS. There are several different methods to make plots in SAS. The one we will focus on in this course is PROC SGPLOT. To start, let's load our data into SAS. As you may have noticed in other lectures, there are some incorrectly formatted entries in our categorical variables. This causes SAS to read them as whole separate levels when we ask for tables and plots that include those variables. Let's use what we know about data manipulation to change the lowercase entry from moderate to the properly capitalized one. Note that I set up a new dataset for our plots that includes all the data manipulation we need to do. It's good practice to do this, so you have easy access to the exact data you use to make a plot if you need to reference it later. Let's press F3 to run this data step. Now, let's make our first bar chart. We make a call to PROC SGPLOT and pass our data in the same way as we have with other procedures. On the next line, we use the VBAR statement to tell SGPLOT that we want to make a vertical bar chart for our activity variable. This will let us visualize the activity level of our study participants. Let's run this procedure with F3 and see what we get. This basically looks like what we want, but there's room for improvement. Next, let's make some formatting tweaks to make our chart easier to read. We'll want to reorder our categories from low to high and then improve our labels. In the next call to PROC SGPLOT, we do this using the x-axis statement. This statement is very flexible and gives us control over the formatting of everything on the plot's x-axis. We use the label option to change the label from the raw variable name to activity level. Then we use the values option to change the ordering of our categories to the order in the parentheses. It is very important to include the parentheses and the quotation marks around values of character variables when you format lists like this for SAS. If you don't, it could misinterpret what you are trying to do. Let's run this with F3. Now we can see our plot is much nicer looking. Finally, let's look at making a side-by-side bar chart so that we can compare our intervention arms in terms of activity level. This can be done by using options after a / on our VBAR statement. We first specify group to tell SGPLOT what our grouping variable is. Then we specify the cluster option for group display so that the bars for our intervention arms will display side by side instead of stacked on top of each other. Let's run this with F3. This plot is especially nice. We even get fancy colors now. Thank you for your attention. That covers what you will need to know to begin working with PROC SGPLOT. This procedure has a wide range of options, and I encourage you to read the documentation and experiment on your own to see what you can do with the procedure. A good place to start is changing the VBAR option to HBAR to make horizontal bar charts.